What's up, guys? I'm Taylor with TK Disc Golf, and today my brother Tyler and I are heading out to the course for another twin battle, but this time we're putting a little bit of a twist on it. We've got this awesome Magic 8 Ball that actually is all disc golf themed. The rules for the round are simple: shake the Magic 8 Ball before you tee off, and whatever you roll you have to use for the entire hole until you complete it. You could get something super helpful like a mulligan, or you could get something like having to jump putt the entire hole. It's going to be an absolute insane battle, so let's get started. Starting this round off, we're actually going to be playing holes 10 through 18 at Gully Park. We film a lot of our review videos here, but we don't usually showcase the back half because it's a lot of distance driver holes. But hole 10, 245 straight away. I got a forehand, which is not something I typically like to throw. I usually stick to like 90-95% backhand, but I can pull a forehand out if I need to. Tyler got the 10 steps forward, so he elected to just stay on the tee pad for an even playing surface, but on his putt he is going to have quite the advantage on me. Having the forehand for the entirety of the hole, I can't even tell you the last time I even attempted a forehand putt inside the circle, so yeah, that was pretty embarrassing, but close enough to make a par. That slope behind the basket definitely could have came into play if I juiced it too much. And those 10 extra steps definitely give Tyler a one-stroke advantage after the first hole. If you haven't seen a video like this before in the past, the Magic 8 Ball does have a good variety of shots. Some of them can help you, some of them are pretty neutral, and some of them really can mess you up. So like this hole, I would say for me having to throw a hyzer, that's not going to mess me up too much, but Tyler having to throw a jump putt on a 340-foot hole, par is definitely going to be his best case scenario, even with it being downhill. But the hyzer play for me is something I pretty much always do on this hole, usually going for a lift if there's no wind, or a Tesla if I need to fight through the wind. A little bit of a baby hyzer. Could have given it more to be more exaggerated, but hey, it's inside the circle, can't complain there. Tyler made it about halfway, so I mean, for a jump putt with a driver, that's not too terrible. It does say jump putt. It doesn't say you have to use a putter. So it's just going with that motion. So he elected to use two drivers in a row to actually get himself in circle to potentially save a par on kind of a roll that really could mess him up. But for me, that hyzer putt is not how I putt. I like to throw my irons flat and with a lot of spin. So having to throw that hyzer like push putty motion, it just dropped out of the sky for me. Dead center, hits the pole, but it did not go in. So I'm going to be taking par. Tyler's able to save himself a par with a step putt. Not quite a jump putt, but we'll give it to him anyway. Hole 12. So these are two neutral rolls, I'd say. Hyzer is definitely the play for Tyler, throwing it nice and high. I believe he threw an entropy, and he has got to get down pretty much right where that is pin high. If it would have skipped and not hit that tree, he would have been way down the hill to the left, and he would have had a pretty rough approach, but that tree helped him. Anheuser, I had an actually really hard right to left wind, pushing that thing down to oblivion, so that Anheuser reliefs just exposed the top part of the flight plate, did not give me any favors whatsoever, and then an Anheuser flex with the entropy hits that tree. But again, par is going to be pretty simple for me. Now we just got to see, of course, Tyler got super lucky with that tree grab and super lucky with that putt. He's got me by 2 strokes after just 3 holes. Going to have to put the pedal to the metal because birdie chances, especially with rolling the Magic 8 Ball telling us what to do, could be hard to come by on some of these longer holes on the back half of this course. Hole 13, Tyler gets blessed with pretty much the ideal situation. You want to be able to throw an Anheuser on this hole up and over top the trees with, I believe this is one of his Plasma Mayhems, a little more understable. That right to left wind is really going to help it flatten out and then spike back in. He should have a putt with that. It's really hard to get a good camera angle, but I would say he's at least a short circle two's putt away. I at least have the opportunity to throw a driver. I elected to use the Fission Wave, but again, with that right to left wind for me, I did not throw it hard enough. You could see it was wanting to turn, but that wind was really just hitting the top part of that flight plate and trying to straighten it out. I was very fortunate to got out of bounds. That fence line is actually private property on the other side, but I landed just short of it, thankfully, and was able to just throw a short little upshot to move on with a par. Man, Tyler is all over these baskets. He got that one putt on the previous hole that definitely shouldn't have really stayed in. That one dropped just at the last second, but he is able to take par. I would say 3 on this hole. If you could get a 3 on this hole every single time, I would say that's a pretty good score because hitting any of those trees, drop early, could have a really tough approach shot. I got screwed with a roller, essentially. I never throw rollers. The only time I'll ever pull one out is if it's a scramble, forehand roller motion like that. And that thing cut rolled, and I'm honestly surprised it didn't go into the road on because it was on such a cut roller angle. We'll see what it hit because it stopped somehow. Wow. Tyler throwing a putter electron entropy and an absolute smash. I mean, that thing went every bit of 300 and probably 20 feet. It's going to leave him with a circle one putt with a putter. That's insane. And my forehand roller cut rolled into that storm drain. It's a prototype Zenith, so I'm really, really happy it didn't go too far in there because I could have lost one of my favorite distance drivers. And the forehand roller with the putter, that blasted past the basket. I'm going to be in some deep, deep trouble. Actually, it's not too bad from there. I was able to actually get a nice straddle stance to give myself a little forehand pitch out. And it rolls up into like the 15-foot range, so it's not too terrible. For me, actually, let Tyler putt real fast, and he actually cans that putt, so he is, again, 3 strokes ahead of me. But for my putt here, we were kind of like, do I have to do a roller motion like that, or can I just putt it? And we kind of just elected to say, hey, go ahead and putt it, because this hole could take forever if I had to sit there and throw like a tomahawk roller on my putts, and it blasts through the chains every time. Hole 15 is one of the coolest holes on the course, in my opinion. So 455, super straight, and then nice skip towards the end. Tyler gets really like unfortunate to roll. He has to throw 2 shots and pick his worst. So he parked the other one. That one's inside circle 2, and this one pulls it left. I think it punched through. He'll have some options to try to save par, but consistency is going to have to be his friend in order to save that par. I got blessed with just throwing a driver, so I elect to throw the Neutron Jet, and man, this is one of my favorite understable drivers right now for some hyzer flip-ups, nice turns, and then gets all the way up there. I'm going to have just a very short approach to save the 3 on this hole. They call it a par, I think this T sign says like it's par 5 or something silly, but realistically it's like a par 3. Pretty tough to get. It's got 2 routes, so this left forehand route is not the ideal path, but it is usable. I am going to be having the hyzer route on the right side of this island of trees. So Tyler had to throw 2 forehands to plant the basket. One was perfect, the second one got caught up, and now he is going to have to make 2 more shots perfect to save a bogey. And that one's good with the glitch. Now he's got to throw his pilot because that's the only other unstable putter he has, and it fades out a little bit. So he's going to have a long circle 1 putt to make, where he has to make 2 putts in a row in order to save that bogey. Me using a driver, go with that Zenith to get a skip. It didn't skip as much as I hoped. I should have put a little more hyzer on it, but I did get around the corner, and I'll have a pretty easy putt. Yeah, this is where Tyler's first shot landed, so he definitely got screwed. That was one of the better drives I've seen him throw on this hole. He was just in the short circle 2 range. Could have had a straddle out, like hyzer putt motion to try to get the 2 on the hole, but unfortunately wasn't able to because his second shot was not as consistent. Cans the first putt. And the electron entropy spits out. He doesn't carry 2 of his putting putters, so that definitely did not help him because he was having to use a putter he's not used to for that second putt to try to stay consistent. But because of that, went from a 3-stroke advantage, Tyler, now just to 2 strokes. Hole 16, I got the box. I get 10 steps forward, so this could really help me out, especially if I can put it close to not worry half the putt. I got it pretty close. I think after my 10 steps, I'll probably be inside 20 feet, so I should be able to make that. And Tyler, after the course tooketh, the course could potentially giveth. He gets to throw 2 and pick his best shot. So his first one was okay. I would say it's in the center of the fairway, just a little short because it was with an envy. And that mid-range shot kicked a little outside, so he's going to have to pick between the 2. Elects to go with this one. Now he just has to make one of the 2 because he technically gets to make his best. So the pilot missed, stalled out a little bit. Now he's going for a spinny run with the glitch. If you haven't seen our glitch review video, oh man, that was so close. If you haven't seen the glitch review video or our glitch only round, go check that out because it was a blast to film. It's just like throwing a frisbee, just like playing catch of the basket. Seriously, one of the coolest discs MVP has released in quite a while. The hype on it is insane as well. So after my 10 steps, like I said, I'm in just inside that 20-foot mark, so I could take another stroke on Tyler thanks to the magic 8-ball, and sure enough, did not let that 10 steps go to waste. Cans the putt. I get back to par. Tyler with a par is 1 under. So we are with 1 stroke going into the final 2 holes. And the magic 8-ball does not like me because it gave me the lefty shot. Throw with your non-dominant hand. And I am a right-handed player. I have no coordination with my left hand, and I have to throw a lefty shot on one of the most narrow wooded holes on the course. And actually, that made it about halfway down the fairway. I'm right on the edge. I should have a chance to maybe par this hole. Super, super lucky. Could have hit some trees, and it snuck through everything. So I actually threw my most understable disc. Tyler with the 360 putter shot. I think he threw his entropy, the Electron one, but he nailed the line dead center, just not used to throwing that 360 motion, so kind of threw it into the dirt a bit. But hey, I would take center cut any day, having to throw a 360 in the woods. Here I threw in a proton lift, I believe. Just a nice lefty hyzer release up to the basket, and I'll be inside the circle to try to make my putt for par. Tyler with the 360 spit out with the glitch. Like, this shot was so ridiculous in person. Like, I cannot tell you how close that was. Like, an inch to the right, that basket could have caught it. Honestly, if it wasn't a Mach 2, I think even like any tournament level basket may have caught that as well. But Tyler with the over dramatic 360 putt for par, and me, I'm also electing to go with the glitch. It's just a light frisbee toss, super glidey. Doesn't require a lot of power since I'm throwing left-handed, and I'm honestly super stoked to walk away with a par throwing left-handed on that hole. Final hole, 1 stroke. I have to birdie this, and thankfully the magic 8-ball gives me a mulligan. Tyler has to throw a standstill. That's kind of a neutral multiplier for him just because he does have a lot of power. But my shot was absolutely perfection. I'm super stoked that I can save the mulligan for the putt instead of the drive, because Lord knows I'll need it for the putting. But Tyler throwing his, I think this is one of his mayhems, from a standstill, and absolutely smashes it. It's hooking up nicely, and that thing actually, from a standstill, I think went just as far as my drive with a run-up with my plasma octane. We're going to see here in a second. Yeah, you can see my disc just 10 feet in front of him. So he's got a putt here to win it. Just off the right side of the cage. Man, that was so close. This is definitely a nerve-wracking putt for me. I know I have 2 in the bag with having the mulligan, but yeah, it all comes down to the mulligan because my putting, I don't practice putting at all. I've got 3 kids at home, so I do not have time to do any putting, and thankfully the mulligan saves me. Gets me to 1 under par. Tyler's going to have a par putt for 1 under, and we're going to go to a playoff to see which one of us comes out on top. Good old Henry nailing the putt to save Tyler's par. And we're going to go circle back to hole 10. We were going to do hole 1, but there were some people teeing off on that hole, so we just elected to do the same rotation. I get a mid-range for my roll, which is not terrible. I prefer to throw putter, but with the wind, I elected to go with a pyro, and it just hyzer spiked pretty short. I should have thrown that a little more flat and trusted that it wasn't going to blast past it. But I'm going to have some work to do. It's not a guarantee. And Tyler, again, gets screwed with the jump putt, but actually throws the most ridiculous shot of the entire day on the final hole. Gets it inside circle 1, throwing a driver throw putt. I don't even know what you want to call that, but it was a jump putt. It was a jump throw of some kind, and he gets it inside the circle. And then with a step putt, gets the birdie. All the pressure's on me. I've got to make a putt into a headwind with a mid-range, though, and that's definitely no easy task. I went with the pyro. It dropped, hit cage. Realistically, should have gone with the fission reactor to get more glide, but it is what it is. Tyler wins. Alrighty guys, that concludes another twin battle between Tyler and I. This one was absolutely electric. Really had a good time doing this. I wish I could have came out on top, but you know, some unfortunate stuff towards the end kept me from pulling off the wind. The mulligan, obviously on 18, that was super clutch to get the birdie on one of the harder holes on the course, so that was sweet. If you guys like what you see, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because last I checked, like 80% of you actually aren't subscribed that are viewing this videos. And then also hit the like button, leave us a comment if you want to see us do anything else crazy like this, and we'll see you on the next one.